Hello and welcome to the Cat Collective. I'm Nina, I'm the channel for this channel. And let's start. Passion. Yes. Ooh, Transformation. This was almost German. Clarity. Okay. I feel drawn to pull more, so I do. Happiness. And new beginnings. And ooh, now it's getting weird. Okay, I don't know why I was drawn to put so many cards, but yeah, it's okay. It's fine, right? So let's see what we have. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a banana in case you don't know. The burp card. I very much hope that you enjoyed the audio. Okay. Okay. Oh. Oh my god, there's so much happening. So much. So much. So what I'm getting is, you have a passion, and you had a passion for a very long time, all by yourself, right? You were always the weird banana. That's what I'm getting. You were always the weird banana, living your banana life alone. Sorry. Right? You were the weird banana living your life. And yeah, you worked through some things, and yeah, you've been just yourself, right? Whenever you needed to, you just did, right? Yeah, you were yourself all the time, right? But you were also kind of used to being the ghost of society, being, just being, yeah, someone. You know what's a ghost? A ghost is someone you don't see usually, right? Not as seen on TV. And then something changed, and because you've been yourself all the time, right? Yeah, you might have, could be like music, that you make music, or just that you put yourself out there the way you were, but no one really noticed, and you were fine with that because, well, you assume that, well, since you are the it's like you always put, I'm getting this black sheep example where you are like, yeah, I'm the black sheep of society, maybe even of your family. It's just, the weirdo, the ghost, no one really give a, you are the weird banana. And then something changed suddenly, and it really feels like sudden fame, right? And this brought in a lot of clarity for you, right? Because you were like, whoa, what's that? Sudden fame. Wow, suddenly you are really famous. And you're like, why is like suddenly? Just like that, you're seeing that you were, putting yourself out there for a while, but no one really gave a, and you were like, yeah, it's okay. Well, I assume that's the way it is. I'm just here, sitting here, being my own ghost. That's fine. Reading my own book, writing my own book, maybe writing your own story could be, just doing your own shit. So I'm drawn to speak openly in this reading. So you were doing your shit, right? Your own shit. And yeah, and this brought in a lot of clarity for yourself, but then this transformation happened, and this big fame came in, or comes in, wherever you are in this timeline. And at first, you were also very happy about it. Like, I think you are very happy about it. It made you happy because you finally felt seen, Because look at this ghost. This ghost was kind of a bit sad because it was like, well, I'm special. I've got my book here. I'm magical and special. No one really sees me. I'm a ghost. I need to fly around. I'm just flying, but no one really cares, right? And it's like, right? I was alone. But now you're not. Now you are the ghost on TV, right? And you're like, yay, fame. Right? You step through the portal and it really gave you a new beginning. A big one. A huge one. Like, huge. You're probably even bigger than the people you were looking up to previous to that and thinking about fame, and now you're even more famous than them, and you're like, I ain't a ghost anymore, right? You know. But how must is a ghost really a ghost if you can see the ghost? Or what? You know? Is that something? Is that, if you see, you know, you get the question. It's like, suddenly you are famous. You are one of those guys sitting there, right? Wow, right? And I'm drawn to the weird banana again. Because you're like, okay, yeah, well, that's great. First, happiness, yay, yeah, well, yay. Clarity, it's this confirmation of, hey, I'm valid. Right? That's a validation. It's like, yeah, I'm valid, yeah. It's transformation. Also, maybe if you've put your passion out there, it's like, yay. Confirmation of your, worth? Well, you shouldn't get it from an external source, but of course you can question yourself if you are flying around like this, whether you are even somewhat important or necessary. I got that. Are you like, is it like, because, hey, right? But, it's a transformation, and even though you are yourself, burping around, doing whatever you want to do, being the weird banana, you are also now still the weird banana, because stepping through this portal, right? Sun fame, yay! You're now the weird banana, questioning the whole stuff, because you're like, okay, all right, now everybody knows me, right? Almost like that, Yeah, now everybody, like, wow. Okay, but yeah, now and suddenly you see the dark side of all of this, and you are having fear about this. It's this dark side. It's this, oh wow, everybody knows me now, and a whole different set of problem rushes towards you. It's like a whole set of problems. It's like, suddenly you have to question. Before that, as a ghost, you were maybe questioning whether people were honest with you. Were they honest with you, or did they just pity you? Because, hey, you were the weird outsider, right? And now you're like, do they really like me, or do they just like my fame? And you're again a ghost. From one extreme to the other. That's what I'm getting. Why? You're like, oh, again. Is that me or what? It was like, wow, great. Ghost card again. And now you're like, oh no. Again. Who's like, duh. Okay, you know that this is a problem that many other people would like to have too, right? But it's for you, it's like, it's a valid problem because it's not an easy situation when you have to be the weird banana, questioning everyone's intentions. First you were questioning them from a different perspective, and now you're questioning them from another perspective, and you're like, well, great. Right? Great. Suddenly, a whole different set of people approaches you. Where before that, you maybe encountered more... Yeah, a different set of people. Just different sets of people. That's what I'm getting, Suddenly a different people come to you. Maybe... Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting the previously, maybe when you were the not very famous ghost, you were maybe attracting people who were healers, and maybe suddenly it turned a bit there where people are seeking healing from you also. It could be like just something like that. I don't know. But doesn't have to be. It's just a whole different set of people, because when you have a different set of values, you know, when you're suddenly as seen on TV, of course, people want to join in, right? And they want to befriend you because of prestige reasons, right? And before that, it was the opposite. It was this, do they love me or do they just pity me? Or something like that, you know? It's this, even though you didn't need pity, but you thought that, you know, like, yeah, right? And now you're like, oh, wow. I mean, that's a different version of clarity. It's the clarity from the different perspective. It's this, you know, maybe you've been wishing for recognition for a long time, and now that you're there, you're like, oh, wow. Shit. Shit. More clarity. And you were like, oh, maybe the middle is not that bad. Like, right? That, you know, I'm seeing that suddenly you're, again, thinking about being another ghost and ghosting the situation. Because you're like, well, I'm sick of this. Just, you know, you don't want to be in a position where you have to judge or question the intentions of people. But here we go. Look at that. You've got another gift, right? Because you're a really weird banana, right? And yeah, you do have psychic abilities. And well, the deal is, you know, with fame, sometimes also there's wealth. It could be not, it could also, it doesn't have to be fame particularly, it could be also wealth. It's also what I'm getting. It doesn't have to, you know, but it's just because of TV and I'm getting more, you know, because one thing doesn't mean the other. You could be extremely famous but not that rich. It's just, people assume that, but sometimes it's not the truth. You know it now, maybe you know, it's like, maybe you thought that when you were getting famous, you would also be rich. But you know it's not the case, right? It's just what I got. It's just, you know, now, you know, yeah, you now also, well, you do have this third eye, and you can use it. You can feel and sense the energies of people and their intentions. And you had to use it before in a different kind of way, you know, in this, you know, from the other side. And now you can still use it. So therefore, weird banana, jackpot, right? And also try to, because the verb always means that you have to release something. And I'm thinking, you know, I'm thinking about that you are thinking about releasing the fame, right? But I don't think that this is what you are supposed to do, because the universe has provided you with this, because you seem to provide some value for humanity in a larger scale, you know? And therefore, you weren't put there in this situation by accident, you know? And I think you can cope with this situation better because you were previous to that a little bit on the other, you know, you were always, in a way, always on the edge of society, right? And it doesn't really matter because I think you can cope with it better than other people. That's what you know, it's like when before that you've been a loner because of this reason, now you are somewhat a loner because of another reason, and that's fine. It's just, you know, now you have to, again, use your psychic abilities to see and read people's books, you know. It's this, you have to read between the lines and, you know, just use this, you know, use this in a way that protects you also. Yeah, too bad, right? Yeah, and therefore I think what you need to release in this situation is clearly also this well, it's a part of a psychic ability to see the positive side and the negative, you know, and every situation you are in has got a good and a bad side. When you would be in the middle of society, you'd be average. And I think you always knew that you're not average. That's why you were always on the other side of society, or on different sides of society, because you're not average. And when you're average, you unlock a whole other set of problems, what a lot of average people have to live with. Because when we are honest, no one wants to be average, in a way. And no one is average. It's just a judgment. It doesn't really matter. You know, we all fulfill our own roles in society. But, you know, when you are, especially when you're famous, then you get this whole different set of problems that so many other people also want to strive. They strive for this because they don't know what you now know. Right? Yeah. And I'm getting, you know, you are working fine in this. You know, you've been always like that. You've been always, in a way, a ghost. So it's fine. You're working. You're functioning in your role, and also I think you're happy in your role. And after all, you know, in the end of the day, after all this, but there are those energies that I'm picking up. That's why the reading is here, to tell you, well, you know, to give you the whole overview of the situation. You know, fame, well, it's okay. It's fine, right? Yeah, I think you see that. And if you didn't see it now, you probably see what you were meant to see. Yeah. Again, for me, this is always a bit of an outsider card. You know, always looking there, sitting in your castle, and you're like, oh, again, it's this ghost thing. But it's fine, you know, because you will always meet the people that you were supposed to meet. Whether you met them when you were poor, maybe, or, you know, on the other side of society, now you're on a different side. It's like, it's fine. Yeah, it's just a transformation, metamorphosis. It's your path, right? And you see, you know, you're not alone in this path. Maybe you're afraid of that. Yeah, that could be a fear that you're always like. You do have some major trust issues with humanity in general. Maybe just because you've been always that way, and maybe you had some weird encounters when you were. You know, let's assume you were poor or something like that, or just a weirdo, right? And you know, can come in so many different ways. Can be in dating, you know, that you were always questioning the intentions of people, and now you have to question them from a different perspective. And you maybe had, you know, back then when you were like not famous, you had maybe the issue that you were lacking people, could be, you know, that you had issues just finding the right people. And yeah, or maybe it was a bit easier for you, the perception of it, because when you are now that you are on the other side of fame, you are maybe because you know, the previous situation was in an earlier time, right? And now you are older and wiser, and your psychic abilities have been, maybe you didn't have them back then, but now you do have them a little bit more, and you see a bit easier the intentions of people, and that might isolate you a little bit more, because you are a bit faster in judging. Maybe back then you had also not very. I'm also getting that you are a healer, but maybe back then you also were surrounded by people who were not particularly good for you, maybe, of different reasons, you know, or they may have had also other intentions, who knows, but you were not able to judge them, therefore you always had to, or not to judge them, but to do, you know, analyze them with your third eye, that good. And now that you are having the psychic abilities, you see it a bit faster, and now you feel even more isolated because you see the darkness and the shadows and everything, the true intentions of some people faster, and now you're like, oh, right? And before that, you might have experienced a bit more, right? And that's what I'm getting with this. But you're not alone. See, there are some other butterflies with you. And so in case you were wondering or just afraid, right? And again, in beginnings, yeah, it's just a beginning is always a new chapter, and it's, you know, it's a different chapter, but you will get used to it. You got used to the other situation, and it's not that much of a difference. It's just, it's different, but it's not that much of a difference. You know, and it's maybe, yeah, it's nice, you know, because now at least people recognize you, right? And you got the validation. Even though you now realize, well, you didn't really need it, but, well, yeah, well, nice to have, right? Yes, you are the king. You are the king of the woods. Yeah, you know, you can always retreat to nature. A bird will always shit on your head when it needs to shit. So, whether you're famous or not. I'm just getting pigeons in cities. Yeah, anyways, you know what I mean. Yeah, so it's fine. Yes, see, yes. Yeah, well, there's nothing more to say, you know. It's fine. You're fine. You will get used to that. Don't ghost the situation. Wherever you go, you will always have issues, so just enjoy the ride. Have faith. Look at this. Is so much darkness in the card. Yeah, but you know, it's not a bad energy. This card, you know, its first perception might be really dark, but it's not. It's okay. You know, you just have to have faith. Because she's, you know, where people throw knives at you. Look, she's standing there and she's all right. Look, all the knives are around her, in the I don't know, butterfly wall of, you know, but again, transformation, psychic abilities. If this was a moth, you never know. But she's standing there, she's completely intact, and she has blind faith that everything works out, and you do too, probably. Most likely. Right? See? Okay. Let's see who this reading is for. You. Oh, Sarge. Woo! Okay, it's really sudden fame. Yeah, well, because I was like, oh, oh, well, it's okay. Some things are just surprising, right? Yeah. So, enjoy your ride, Weird Banana, and release the distrust.